If he looks over, we're both dead. I'm watching a movie with my friend Anna and her ex when she reaches over to take my hand and slowly guides it between her legs. Under her skirt, my fingers sink into the soft wetness of her panties. While on the other side of her, her ex-boyfriend stares straight ahead at the movie, completely clueless about what's happening right beside him. The man's almost twice my size, with a wicked temper, and I know if he so much as glances over, he'll beat me unconscious. But all I can think is, oh my God, it works. It fucking works. You see, something truly bizarre was happening. Until earlier tonight, I never thought I had a chance with Anna. The girl was way out of my league, and she'd always made it clear she didn't see me that way. But earlier this evening, something changed her mind. What was it? What had I said to change the way she saw me, from the likable friend she treated like a brother, to the man she literally couldn't wait to get inside her? And more importantly, why was this girl, this usually good girl, suddenly so sexually aggressive? So desperate to feel me inside her right there and then, she was willing to risk getting caught and humiliated. My name's Clayton, and I'm going to show you exactly what I said earlier that night to get her so aroused she lost her inhibitions and projected all her sexual desire onto me. So in her mind, I was the only one who could satisfy her sudden and desperate desire for sexual release. You see, just a few weeks earlier, I was doing extensive research on the female brain when I came across a remarkable discovery about the female sex drive that changed the way women responded to me. I discovered a hidden sexual tripwire in the female brain. Once you set off this tripwire in a woman, it awakens an all-consuming primal lust in her so powerful it overrides her rational mind. So she can't think straight, and all logical reasons she has for not giving herself to you are erased, as she becomes laser-focused on getting you alone, sliding out of her pants, lifting her shirt over her head, and pressing her warm, naked body against yours, no matter the consequences. This discovery is based on hard science from research labs at MIT, Stanford, Harvard, and countless other universities, and I'm going to share it with you right now. And I'm going to give you a simple practical tip on how to use it to get direct access to a woman's sex drive, putting you in complete control of her body and mind without even touching her. You can use it with a girl you've just met to tap into erotic emotions so intense they drown out any doubts she has about going home with you. You can use it on a girl who's put you in the friend zone to completely change how she sees you and how she feels about you, so she can't stop thinking of you as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity she'd be a fool to pass up. You can use it with an ex-girlfriend to bring her running back to you after she experiences a sudden urgency to slide her naked body into your bed. You can even use it on your longtime girlfriend or wife if things have gotten stale, to get her so turned on she can't wait to wrap her legs around you and take you deep inside her, so you can experience the rush of masculine confidence you can only get when you know your woman desires you. But before I share this remarkable discovery with you, and a simple tip for using it to make any woman so turned on she literally can't control herself around you, I need to introduce you to Danielle. Because she's the reason I was doing this research on the female brain in the first place. We'd only dated for about 3 months, but when she suddenly broke it off, I was heartbroken. I'd never dated a girl like her before. Not only was Danielle stunningly beautiful, she was also smart, funny, playful, and one of the most thoughtful and genuinely caring people I'd ever met. But as bad as I felt the day she dumped me, the real devastation happened a couple of weeks later, when I did what was probably the stupidest thing I've ever done. You see, not a waking moment passed when I wasn't thinking of her, replaying our time together, trying to figure out where I went wrong. It was exactly 2 weeks after she dumped me when I had a dream I walked in on her kissing another guy. I woke up panicked. The image of her with another guy was stuck in my head. I was desperate for reassurance there was no other guy in her life, and that she still thought of me. But what could I do? Calling her would look pathetic, and if I asked one of her friends, she'd definitely hear about it. And then as I shoveled cornflakes into my mouth, I remembered something I wish to God I hadn't remembered. I had access to Danielle's Facebook account. During the short time we dated, she'd logged in on my computer and I'd saved her password. Should I check it? If she ever found out, she'd be furious. It would be a huge violation of her privacy. But maybe it was all in my head. Maybe she really missed me and was hoping I'd call. And maybe I'd find some clues about how she really felt in there. I had to know. I opened my laptop. I went to the Facebook login page. I typed in her email address and let the password fill in. I half hoped she changed it and I'd be locked out. I hit the sign in button and I was in. I clicked messages. There it was, her inbox. It felt thrilling to be in there, dangerous. I saw some messages between her and her mom and scrolled through them. Nothing interesting there. Then I saw a message from a guy I'd never heard of, Ryan. I clicked on the conversation and started to read. Ryan, I missed you beside me last night. Danielle, I missed you inside me last night. Ryan, I'm at work. Don't make me come over there. Danielle, you'd better not. You know I can't say no when you're around. Ryan, give me 5 minutes. It went on and on like that for pages. I read their private jokes and little intimacies. I read about the orgasms he was giving her. The most intense I've ever had, she said. I couldn't stop reading. I guess I was hoping for some twist that would make me feel better, but each thing I read just made it more obvious she was crazy about this guy. That she didn't miss me at all. That while I was thinking of her every moment of every day, she wasn't thinking about me at all. I shut my computer and stared into space, trying to process what I'd read. I just sat there, unable to move. I tried to drive the images of her with another man out of my mind, but it was no use. Her words ran through my head on repeat, confirming my every insecurity. You're so effing sexy. I get wet every time I see your name come up on my phone. You turn me on like nothing else. Words I would have killed to hear her say to me. Each phrase felt like a knife stabbed into my ribcage. But the pain wasn't even the worst part. Pain I could handle. Pain I knew would eventually pass. The worst part was how it made me feel about myself. How I couldn't stop seeing myself through her eyes. How I wasn't enough for her. Wasn't confident enough. Wasn't sexy enough. Wasn't man enough. And this other guy was. I felt deflated. Any confidence I'd had before was completely shot. I couldn't imagine another woman ever being attracted to me. Besides, even if I was able to get another girl's interest, I had no guarantee she wouldn't do the same thing to me Danielle did. And I was terrified of going into a downward spiral, where each rejection lowered my confidence, which led to more rejection, which led to lower confidence, and so on, making sure I was alone forever, with love, intimacy, and good sex forever out of reach for me. And as I lay back on the couch imagining the worst possible future for my life, I thought about something my dad told me when I was in high school. It was, he said, the secret to his success and everything good that had ever happened to him. Clayton, he said, nothing will ever change in your life until you do. But the hard part isn't changing. The hard part is making the decision to change. After that, the rest is easy. Until then, I never understood exactly what he meant, but at that moment it was clear as day. I was so sick of being rejected, so tired of being ignored by the girls I so desperately wanted, so fed up with being passed over for other guys. I was done. I made the decision right there and then that I'd never be in that position again, that I'd do whatever it took to make sure I was never that out of control with a woman. I decided that what I really wanted was, well, it was like this. Have you ever seen a girl maybe at the gym in her workout outfit, or at the coffee shop reading by herself, or laying on the beach in her swimsuit, or just walking down the street in jeans and a t-shirt? And every cell in your body cries out with a longing to have her so intense, you'd do anything to be with her if only you knew how? You become consumed by a primal urge so powerful that in that moment nothing else matters? Do you know that feeling? I wanted to know how to make women feel like that for me. I wanted them to tell their friends, oh my God, I met this guy and there's just something about him that makes me want to rip his clothes off. I wanted them to go home at night, slide their hands between their legs, and think about me as they crested over into orgasm. I decided I wouldn't settle for anything less. And as soon as I made that decision, something truly insane happened. That night, I was at home watching ABC's Nightline on TV, and they were interviewing this girl, Jessica. She had the most popular online dating profile in all of Los Angeles, and apart from the fact that she was a hot girl who had literally thousands of guys pursuing her, a few things caught my attention. First, she'd spent years as a clinical couples counselor and sex advice writer, and now had her own sex and dating advice show on Playboy Radio. Second, she was extremely outspoken and shamelessly honest about what turned her on. And she was now a full-time dating coach for men. Now, I knew there were other dating coaches out there, but in my mind, this combination of years of experience and training in the science of attraction, the perspective of a hot girl who was always getting hit on, and a shockingly honest, no-filter way of talking about her own thoughts and feelings, meant that if anyone could help me, it was her. I wrote her a short email asking her advice and heard back the next morning. Hey, Clayton, I'd really love to help you out, but between my coaching schedule, my show, and a new project I'm doing research for, I don't have time to take on any new clients right now. I'll let you know if something opens up in the next few months. I sincerely hope you find what you're looking for. Best of luck, Jessica. Damn it. I'd finally found the way forward and it was blocked. In my heart, I knew that Jessica could help me. Then I had an idea. I hit reply to Jessica's message. Hey Jessica, I know this is a long shot, but you said you're busy with some research. I went to school for biochemistry and I'm pretty good at research, so if you need a research assistant, I'd be happy to work for free in exchange for the chance to learn from you. If not, I understand. Please let me know, Clayton. She responded right away, and after a little back and forth, she agreed to take me on as long as I signed a confidentiality agreement. With that done, we got on the phone and she briefed me on the project. What she told me then completely changed my dating life from that moment on. She'd started this project 6 months earlier. She and her group of girlfriends, who called themselves the 7 Deadly Bitches, had been swapping dating and sex stories when they noticed some strange patterns in the way they behaved around certain men. For example, they noticed that while with most men they'd play hard to get and wait to be pursued, with certain men they felt an irresistible desire to do the pursuing and would aggressively go after him, putting themselves out there in embarrassing ways, almost as if they couldn't help themselves. They also noticed they'd sometimes write a guy off as unattractive or even disgusting, and later find themselves obsessing over him, analyzing every letter and punctuation mark from his texts, desperate to get him to like them. And they noticed it wasn't the best looking or richest guys they'd act like this with. It wasn't even the most confident guys. In fact, they had no idea what these guys had done to make them act so crazy. Jessica wanted to know why, and started doing research into the female brain so that men she coached could take advantage of whatever it was to have more success in their dating lives. She told me she'd recently come across some remarkable research which answered some of the most fundamental questions about women and attraction. Questions like, why do women sometimes make bad decisions and sleep with guys they know aren't good for them? Why do beautiful women who could have any guy they want often choose to date average or even ugly guys? What makes women risk rejection and pursue a man rather than playing hard to get and waiting to be pursued? The discovery unearthed in this research is the key to making a woman lose control over you. Making her so desperate to get you inside her, she'll do things she never imagined. Things no one, even herself, would ever expect. I'm going to walk you through this discovery right now, so you're going to want to pay close attention. Scientists have uncovered a master switch in the female brain which controls a woman's sexual behavior. When it's tripped, 2 important things happen. First, it triggers an arousal response. Her pupils dilate, her breath quickens, her cheeks and breasts become flushed, her back arches, her pussy gets slick with her juices as her body gets ready for sex. But the surprising thing is what happens inside her brain. You see, as the arousal circuit of her brain is activated, other parts of her brain actually shut down. Specifically, the brain areas for rational decision-making and impulse control. In other words, all the areas of her brain designed to put the brakes on her sexual behavior go to sleep. This phenomenon is called the override effect, because it completely overrides those parts of her brain designed to make her behave herself. It's evolution's way of making sure she mates, even if she thinks she shouldn't. She loses her ability to resist the powerful sexual impulses running through her body, as she becomes single-mindedly focused on satisfying her sexual urges with you. And any thoughts she might have had about her reputation, ruining your friendship, if you'd make a good boyfriend, or if it makes sense to be with you, are literally gone from her mind, as the brain areas that generate those thoughts go into hibernation. As one MIT professor put it, it creates a kind of tunnel vision, where goals other than sexual fulfillment become eclipsed by the motivation to have sex. That's why women make all kinds of bad decisions when it comes to sex. Married women cheat on their husbands. Women hook up with ex-boyfriends they know will just hurt them again, and hop into bed with guys they hardly know. That's why my friend Anna was willing to risk getting caught by her ex-boyfriend while we watched a movie. It's why countless school teachers have risked their careers, their reputations, and even jail time to hook up with their students. Because the brakes on their raw animal urges are literally gone. Guys who trigger the override effect in a woman get access to a whole other side of her. The good girl who's always been proper is suddenly obsessed with sleeping with you. She wants you to do the dirtiest things to her since she's no longer disgusted by the things she used to be. As Jessica explained the override effect to me and how it worked, all kinds of things started to make sense to me. I could see that whenever a girl brushed me off, whenever a girl seemed interested and then suddenly went cold, When she'd tell me I was a nice guy or a good friend or she just didn't see me that way, it's because I wasn't turning her on and triggering the override effect in her brain. She had lots of logical reasons not to be with me, but none of that would have made a difference because when you trigger the override effect, those things don't matter. A woman will overlook all your flaws. She'll make excuses to her friends to justify being with you. She'll rationalize having sex with you despite hardly knowing you, because that's what her brain is designed to do. Jessica was convinced that the override effect was the key to a man's success with women, because it made sense of every sexual decision she and her friends had ever made. My job was to continue her research and discover as much as I could about it. I started spending most of my evenings at the university library looking through medical journals and scientific papers, and over the next 2 months I discovered some amazing things about the override effect. Like how men experience the override effect too, but while in men it's triggered primarily by a woman's physical appearance, the curves of her body, the softness of her skin, and the beauty of her face, in women it's triggered most easily by language. Which explains why women get so turned on by erotic stories, why romance novels outsell every other book category combined, and why 50 Shades of Grey alone sold over 100 million copies. Because they are to women what watching porn is to men. Words are a direct line to the pleasurable and addictive feelings of arousal women are so hungry for. I also discovered that the override effect isn't just about making women horny. Because once a girl experiences its powerful effects, her brain releases bonding hormones, which cause her to get attached to you and become completely infatuated with you. So even if she has all the rational reasons in the world not to, she can't help wanting to be your girlfriend. Once I gathered the research and brought it to Jessica, she designed a series of techniques for tripping a woman's sexual tripwire covertly. So a guy could make a girl horny and trigger the override effect during casual conversation without her having a clue what he was doing. As the first test subject, it was my job to go out and try these techniques in the real world. Jessica gave me different words, different language patterns, different stories and questions to test, and I got immediate feedback about what worked and what didn't. I'd ask a girl a question and immediately see her pupils dilate and her breathing change, and I knew she was getting wet and starting to think of me sexually. I'd tell a story and see another girl's back arch and her nipples stiffen through the cotton of her t-shirt, and know that she was starting to feel the urge to grip her pussy around something, which is how I found myself in the theater with my fingers buried between Anna's legs, her eyes glassy as she stared straight ahead, her mouth slightly open as she pulled her panties aside to feel my fingers on her warm, welcoming lips. In a single conversation, I'd made her so desperate for me she couldn't help herself. And it wasn't just girls I'd known for a while. Using these techniques, I had girls back at my place within 25 minutes of saying hello. Like the barista who said, "I can't believe I'm doing this," as she lifted her hips off the bed for me to slide her jeans and panties off. The best part was that knowing I had these techniques in my back pocket, that I could turn on any woman at any time and have her practically begging me to satisfy her, gave me a new confidence. It was like having a secret weapon. I carried myself differently, and women started looking at me differently, treating me differently, approaching me and striking up conversations, trying to get me alone. So when I eventually ran into Danielle, I was radiating sexual power. We talked for a minute before she asked me if I wanted to go for a walk, and 10 minutes in, she was hanging off my arm, telling me how sorry she was that she wasn't ready for me before, and asking if she could make dinner for me at her place to make it up to me. And not only did these techniques work for me, but they worked for every other guy Jessica taught them to. Like Kyle, the 26-year-old virgin who used one of the texts Jessica came up with to get a girl in his physics class to come over to his place, push him back onto the bed, and have her way with him. Or Ko, who used a combination of techniques to make his waitress so horny that she slipped him her number in front of his friends and then insisted on bringing him back to her place that very night when she was done her shift. Or Alec, who was talking to his ex on the phone and used one of the arousal stories to get her to drive over to his place at 3 a.m. to watch a movie. You can guess what happened next. But we had a new problem. As word spread, Jessica was getting more and more overwhelmed with requests from guys who wanted to learn from her. Jessica's waitlist was already 6 months out and she was exhausted, spending all her time with clients teaching them these techniques. So I suggested it would make her life easier if she took what she was teaching and created some video modules which the guys could watch on their own time, freeing her up from teaching the same things over and over again. I also suggested that we offer the program online to more than just her private clients. So no matter where a guy was in the world, he could get access to it on his own time in the privacy of his home. She was hesitant at first, but when I reminded her what I'd gone through before meeting her, and what millions of guys were continuing to go through every day, the heartache, the loneliness, the loss of confidence, not feeling like a man, and that she had the power to help them, she agreed to publish a program as long as I helped her put it all together. It took us 3 months to get it all done, and now I'm happy to present Speak to Spark Arousal. It's the only program in the world specifically designed to trigger the override effect in the women you talk to. So you can make her dripping wet in seconds during a casual conversation until she aches to climb on top of you and take you deep inside her, without her having a clue what you're up to. If you want the power to turn a woman on, make her wildly impulsive, and make her see you as a powerful sexual man, the Speak to Spark Arousal system was designed for you. In it, you'll learn the seeding technique, which plants sexual images and ideas in a woman's mind that make her squirm in her seat as her pussy aches with an emptiness she's desperate for you to fill. Automatic looping to continually play dirty thoughts and feelings about you in her head. So for hours, days, or weeks after talking to you, she's obsessing over you and trying to come up with ways to see you again, get you alone, and satisfy the naughty fantasies about you she can't stop picturing. How to use conversational silences to get her feeling an overwhelming amount of sexual tension that can only be released by her making a move on you. What to say when she says she has a boyfriend, she's not interested, or she's too busy to see you, that will make you stand out from every other guy, show massive confidence, and compel her to take the initiative to see you again. How to put sexual conversation on autopilot so you don't have to think about what you're doing and women are turned on by you effortlessly and naturally. Here's a hint. Guys who are naturally good with women do this without realizing it, which is why their best advice is to be yourself. How to use curiosity to get her investing in face-to-face and text conversations. So instead of giving one-word answers, she's asking you questions and moving the conversation forward. What to say within 10 seconds of meeting a girl that gets her thinking, okay, he's not like other guys, and makes her feel a sudden need to hook up with you before some other girl does. How to react to any rational objection she has to dating you or being alone with you, including your age, what her friends might think, or her fear of ruining your friendship, in a way that spikes her arousal and wipes these concerns completely out of her mind. And much, much more. That's just a small taste. Once you use the techniques and Speak to Spark Arousal, you'll be able to turn on any woman at any time without her suspecting what you're up to. And the great thing is you can actually see her getting turned on before your eyes. You can see her pupils dilate and her cheeks get flushed. You can see her breathing change and her gaze soften. You can see her nipples harden under her shirt. You can see her lick her lips and glance at yours. She'll start touching your arm, complimenting you, and giving you so many green light signals, you can take her by the hand, look into her eyes, pull her body into yours, and lead her into the bedroom with absolute confidence that it's exactly what she's hoping you'll do. And when you know that you have this kind of power over girls' sexual emotions, you'll walk around with a kind of swagger that women can spot a mile away. Your body language will project a sexual confidence women are highly attuned to, but almost never come across outside of the romance novels, erotica, and other chick porn they seek out, just to get a taste of the feelings you're able to give them. Now, if you've stuck with me this far in the video, you probably have a few questions, like how much the program costs. So let me answer that for you right now. When we put Speak to Spark Arousal together, we had a lot of discussions about how much to charge. Jessica's current rate is $300 an hour for one-on-one coaching, and as she gets better known through this program and Playboy Radio, those rates are just going to go up. To get this information directly from her would take at least 4 sessions and would cost you a minimum of $1,200. That's if she even had room in her schedule to take you on. Now, $1,200 isn't bad for the ability to walk into any situation with any woman and have her squirming in her seat with the idea of you penetrating her. So when we created the program, I suggested to Jessica that we price it at $1,199 to be fair to all her clients who've paid her this much to learn the system. After all, what's in the program is exactly what she teaches them. But Jessica wasn't having it. She told me the whole reason for creating this program wasn't just to help guys who could drop $1,000 without even thinking about it. She wanted to level the playing field so that guys who weren't rich or good-looking or naturally confident could get women they'd never had access to before. So we asked her friends, my friends, and her past clients what would be fair. Everyone agreed that cutting the price by more than half and charging $499 was more than fair. After all, a lot of guys spend more than that on clothes and eating out in a single month. and we're offering them the seemingly magical ability to walk up to any woman and get her so turned on she loses control. And though Jessica agreed that $499 was a reasonable price, she really wanted to spread the word about Speak to Spark Arousal and get it into as many hands as possible. So, against my recommendation, she decided to do a marketing test, where we'd reduce the price as a reward to early adopters and to see what the response was. This video is part of that test, which is why, if you're watching this video right now, we'd like to offer you the Speak to Spark Arousal system for turning women on just by having simple conversations with them without them having a clue what you're up to, for more than 80% off. That means that right now only, while you're watching this video, you can get Speak to Spark Arousal for just $49.95. Simply click the button below and fill out the order form to get started. You'll be taken to a secure checkout page hosted on clickbank.com. Then you'll be taken right to a secure area where you can get access to all the materials. You'll also get an email with a link to the downloads area and details on how to contact us should you need to for any reason. Click the button below now to take advantage of this limited time offer. Now, because Jessica wants to make getting this program a total no-brainer for you, she agreed that for those guys who purchased as part of this marketing test, she would also offer a couple of her most popular programs for free as a limited time bonus. That means if you access this program right now, you'll get bonus program number 1, Friend Zone Escape Hatch. Jessica's helped hundreds of guys break out of the friend zone, telling them exactly what to say and do to reframe the way a woman sees you. So she wonders why she ever put you in the friend zone in the first place, and literally begs to be your girlfriend. A lot of people think once a girl sees you as just a friend, she'll never change her mind. However, the friend zone does have an escape hatch. The key is to shift her perception of you in phases, rather than trying to go from friend to lover in one step. That way, your new sexual identity takes hold in her mind in a way that makes sense to her, instead of leaving her wondering why you're acting so different all of a sudden. In this ebook, Jessica shows you the 4 phases of changing how she sees you, and how to walk any woman from one phase to the next. So your transition from friend to sexual beast makes perfect sense in her mind. Bonus program number 2, Natural Conversation Starters. You want to turn her on? You want to get her in bed? Or make her your girlfriend? You're going to have to meet her first. And while loads of so-called pickup artists are teaching lines and schemes to hook a girl's interest, the guys with the most success meeting and attracting women use an under-the-radar approach that comes across totally natural. So she's not even aware of what's happening until you've already turned her on. In this program, Jessica shows you the secret to starting conversations naturally, and gives you 33 word-for-word phrases you can use to start conversations with women at the coffee shop, in line at the bank, walking down the street, or at a bar or club, which won't come across as lines at all. So you can meet any girl at any time in any place and have her imagining all the dirty things she wants you to do to her without triggering her resistance and risking rejection. Each of these programs is previously sold for $49.99. So that's a value of $99.98 just in bonuses, just for taking advantage of this one-time offer of Speak to Spark Arousal. And because we wanted to make it as easy as possible for you to try this program out, we're offering a 60-day, unconditional, no questions asked, 100% money-back guarantee. That means you can get access to the program, go through all the materials, download the bonuses, and try everything out. And if the women you use it on aren't dripping with excitement at the idea of wrapping their legs around you so they can draw you inside, simply let us know within 60 days and we'll immediately refund 100% of your purchase. No questions asked. Just like that. We're offering this guarantee because we know how hard it can be to decide if a program is right for you. And the best way for us to help you do that is to let you try it out for yourself before you decide, so you can see for yourself the powerful effects these techniques have over a woman's sexual emotions. All you have to do is click the button below and fill out the order form, and in less than a minute, you'll have full access to all the tricks, tactics, and techniques of the Speak to Spark Arousal system that's already helped hundreds of guys trade up and date women who never would have looked at them before. Now, if you're still on the fence about this, I should warn you about something. I already told you that we may not be able to offer Speak to Spark Arousal at this price for very long, but we may actually have to pull the program down completely very soon. A few months ago, we got a strongly worded letter from Playboy which said that the program is in direct conflict with Jessica's non-compete contract, asking us to cease and desist distribution immediately. After several letters back and forth between our lawyers, they agreed to let us keep the program up for now, but they reserved the right to pull it down at any time without notice. So although I can't say exactly when, this page could disappear at any moment, and you'll have no way to get access to the program. Which is why I suggest you get it now while you still can. You can return it later if you change your mind. Just click the button below to get instant access to the program and all the exclusive bonuses. So now you have a decision to make. The way I see it, you have 3 options. Option 1, you could forget you ever saw this video, keep doing what you've always done, and keep getting the reactions from women you've always gotten. Option 2, you could take what you've learned today and try to figure out the rest on your own. But keep in mind, even with Jessica's help, it took me months of research and trial and error to learn the lessons spelled out for you in this program. But if you're the kind of person who likes to take the hard road, then be my guest. Or option 3, you could save yourself time, save yourself money, and avoid countless rejections by letting us help you. I've always believed that you can rise to new heights by standing on the shoulders of giants. There's no reason to reinvent the wheel when someone else has already done the heavy lifting for you. So if you're ready to take advantage of the years of research and trial and error that have gone into creating a clear, step-by-step guide that tells you exactly what to do to turn any woman on and trigger the override effect in her, so she sees you as the one man who can satisfy her sexual needs and literally loses control around you, simply click the button below. Fill out the order form on the next page, and in less than a minute, you'll have complete access to Speak to Spark Arousal, the exclusive bonuses, and a few more surprise goodies I haven't even told you about. All for less than the cost of a night out. I've brought you this far. I've led you to the door and presented you with the opportunity for a new life. And now you have to decide whether or not to walk through it. If you choose not to, that's totally fine. It's your life and your decision to make. But if you choose to invest in yourself and make this change in your life, we'll be there every step of the way to support you. Because I know from personal experience how devastating it is to be rejected, how awful it feels to know that women think of you as creepy or asexual, how out of control it feels when you can't make a girl feel attraction for you no matter what you try, and how wonderful life can be when you're finally in control of your dating life. The choice is yours. Simply click on the button below and you'll have instant access to the program. Now, again, if you're still on the fence as to whether or not this is something you want to invest in, we have one more bonus program, and it's only for those of you who purchase this program right now before this video ends. It's called What to Say Next. Not knowing what to say after hello is one of the biggest stumbling blocks guys have with women. But imagine you were never at a loss for words and knew exactly what to say to a woman to keep the conversation smooth and natural. This program gives you that power. It includes the 3 biggest mistakes guys make in conversation that murder their chances with a woman, and features a step-by-step flowchart which shows you exactly what to say when talking to a girl based on her reaction to keep your conversation flowing smoothly. Just knowing you have these tools in your toolbox lets you relax and be spontaneous. You won't be scared of awkward silences and will radiate a calm confidence that women can't resist. This program is not for sale anywhere else and is only available to those of you who purchase Speak to Spark Arousal in the next few minutes. With Speak to Spark Arousal for more than 80% off, the 3 exclusive bonuses, and the 60-day 100% money-back guarantee, you can get this program with complete confidence that not only are you getting a ton of value, but there's absolutely no risk to you since you have 60 days to make your final decision. Get it now while you still can. Here's what some of Jessica's clients who've been through Speak to Spark Arousal have said about it. George writes, "Hey Jess, wow. I just used what you taught me about flirting to pick up my waitress. I had your program up on my phone and would check it every time she wasn't around and use it when she came back. I actually didn't even have to ask for her number because she left it on the check. Just wanted to say thanks. I feel like $1,000,000. David writes, "Hi Jessica. I felt compelled to write to you and express my gratitude since my life has changed so much since I got Speak to Spark Arousal. Because of the course, I've spent more time just relaxing and letting go when I talk to women, and less concerned about saying the wrong thing or offending them by being sexual. You are so right about what turns women on, and it's not what I thought. Thanks for showing me how to get women hot without getting them creeped out. Now women pick me up. Stay awesome." Another Dave writes, "Dear Jess, Dave here from Essex. I've spent thousands on products that focus on changing all these things about yourself, and every single one of them was complete and utter bullshit. I was hesitant to get your program, but man, am I glad I did. You helped me make the tiniest of tweaks to my conversations, which have produced crazy results. They were so common sense I almost felt silly when discovering them, but they were so easy I saw results immediately after using them. Had my first threesome finally after I used one of your techniques. Used to think I wanted to settle down and find a wife, but now I'm just having too much fun. You're definitely one American who knows your shit. I've recommended your program to a few mates, so if it works for them even 10% of how well it's worked for me, they'll be happy guys. Steve writes, I don't know how I never thought to go to a girl for this stuff, because after spending so much time and money on other coaches, I'm only now finally realizing how to make women want me. Your insights into the female mind and what makes women horny have changed everything for me. At 45, I really thought it would never happen for me, but last week I picked up a girl who's 27, and tonight I have a date with another girl who's 29, so you never know what's possible. I guess it's never too late. Can't thank you enough. Derek writes, Jessica, okay, I have at least tripled my dating results in the past 2 months. I went from being hopelessly undateable to being able to work a room and be completely unapologetic and make girls literally chase me down. It's been the best couple of months of my life, and I owe it all to you. If you're ever in North Dakota, beer's on me. Just wanted to say thanks, Jess. You explained this stuff in a way no one's ever been able to me, and it's changed my life. Let me know if there's anything I can do for you. Remember, nothing will change in your life until you decide to change. Make the decision right now, just as these men do, and watch as your new life unfolds. A life where you are in the driver's seat with women, because you know exactly what to say in any situation to trigger the override effect, so you can make any girl so out of control with desire she's clawing at your belt buckle, running her fingers down your chest, and whispering in your ear how she can't wait to get fucked by you. Click on the button below right now to get started, and get ready to experience reactions from women beyond anything you've ever imagined. Get started now.